Have you ever been told that you're different? That your life will never be like the ones you see your friends having because something about you just isn't the same? Well, I have. My whole life I've been told by doctors, teachers, my parents, and my friends that I was different. I never understood why because I was able to talk to people and hold conversations the same way that anyone else was. But eventually I stopped asking and just had to accept it. Okay, I was different. My whole life I've also been told that I won't be able to get married or have kids of my own, even though what I wanted more than anything in the world was to have a boyfriend. My parents and the doctors always told me that it was because I didn't have the mental capability to raise a family. You see, in August 2018, when I was 27 years old, I was finally diagnosed with a developmental delay called WIEDEMANN syndrome. Ever heard of it? Yeah, me neither. Apparently it's very rare and not much is known about it other than the fact that those who have it have different facial features, and it comes with a learning disability. I guess this kind of answered the question of how I'm different, but I still didn't feel different. Every doctor's appointment after that was the same. My mom and sister would tell doctors what kind of developmental delay I had, and they would always say the same thing. STEINER. Never heard of it. How do you spell it? All I wanted was some kind of answer as to how my life would pan out, but nobody seemed to be able to tell me. Finally, in January of 2019, after almost 30 years of being told, "You're different," the term caught up to me. I started feeling different. My brain was fuzzy and I stopped functioning the way I used to. I couldn't separate my reality from my fantasies, forgot who my parents were, and wasn't able to communicate to anyone what it was that I wanted. My brain was a mess and I didn't know how to get it back to the way it used to be, to my idea of normal. For a year, I had to watch my parents and siblings struggle as these things called episodes occurred, where my brain forgot everything and I would just have this one idea in my mind that I begged people to understand. I don't remember these episodes personally myself, but from what I'm told by my mom and sister, they weren't pretty and they weren't easy to handle. There were sometimes weeks on end where my family had to keep repeating the same conversations with me over and over because that was the only way I would calm down from one of these episodes. It was like one of those terrible movies, the one where the main character wakes up to the same day over and over until they change whatever it was that they didn't get right the first 10 times. Except with my story and my movie, nobody knew what had to change in order for me to be able to move on. Because nobody really knows what WIEDEMANN syndrome is, there aren't that many doctors who know how to treat someone who has it. My mom was told countless times that I would need to wait a year or two in order to see a doctor that specialized in something called neurodevelopmental issues and mental health. Imagine being a mom, watching that child you raised who you were always told was different, suffering from something that nobody knew how to make better, that you knew you couldn't make better. There were days where I would watch my mom cry in front of me, beg me to come back, shake me, stand in front of me as she shouted, "I'm your mom, he's your dad, we're your family, please remember." But there was nothing I could do. I was stuck, and I didn't know if there was anyone out there that could pull me out of this. I was given pill after pill, but they were mostly to calm me down. None of them were to actually help bring my brain back and stop me from going into these states where I didn't know who anyone was and was fixated on just one idea that I made my family repeat to me over and over again. Eventually, though, I did get off the wait list to see a doctor that could help me. I'm a few months into treatment now, and I can honestly say the episodes are shorter and they come less often now and they're less severe. I still get them, but they're manageable now. It was at this point in my life, though, that I could look in the mirror at myself and see that I've actually changed since these symptoms started. My face looked different. I'm not as skinny as I used to be because I couldn't maintain my workout routine while I was having these episodes. My eyes look droopier than they used to, and my lips sort of curve out in a way that I never noticed before. I was finally starting to look different, just like I had been told I was different for the past 30 years of my life. My story isn't over yet, though. I still have many chapters left to write since my road to recovery is expected to be a long one, but I'm ready. I might be different, I might look different, but I can still fight the same as you. What's your story?